So first I went in the Blender, I replaced the cube with a plane, and I imported in the mouse logo as an SVG. After that I removed the fill, converted it into a mesh, then cleaned up the vertices with a limited dissolve and merge by distance. I created some geometry, extruded it, and gave it a glass shader. Gave it a solidify modifier, messed around with the settings, added in some textures for roughness, UV projected it, and made it look nice. Then I imported in a second one to create a light bar inside it. I first did it with a volume, but then eventually I switched to an emission. Then I added in some snow using an add-on and then sculpted it a little bit better and added in a material and worked on it. Then I added in some Voronoi to use as shards of ice. After that I imported in a second pattern, masked it out to only appear in the red parts of the background and gave it a material. I experimented with a couple different patterns and materials. Then I created some snow on the ground using a cube with lots of geometry, a displacement, and some manual settings, and the snow material. Then I added in a Ropz text, used it as a boolean on the cube to give it a cutout look. Changed around the font a little bit and imported in a picture of Ropz. After that I rendered it into Photoshop and started by masking out some of the bad geometry in the background of the Ropz text. Brought in a snow texture to mask it in and make it look nicer. Then I brought in more snow texture to use up top to make it look a bit better. After that I started adjusting the logo in the background, giving it some glows and texturing. After that I gave it some overlays, particles, snow. After that it was time to start mixing Ropz into the environment using some color lookup tables and curves adjustments and such. I painted in some shadows, highlights, and just mixed them in. I brought in 2 pictures of Ropz, gave them a mask and an outline. After that I gave both a camera raw filter, lowering the vibrance a little bit. I gave a texture to the outline, masked out a part of it that is behind the glass, made it darker and blurrier as it would be behind glass. Gave some highlights, and this is the end result after some filters and adjustments.